this was a drama-filled game. Another late winner here in a World Cup knockout game. And who else, Shaka? Erling Haaland.
Seems to be written in the stars at this point for Erling Haaland. Right place, right time, if I'm to be honest. Made harder work of the finish, or it felt like he gave the goalkeeper a chance, it snuck in, and that was all Norway needed. That was all Erling Haaland needed. In a game that I felt Norway dominated in the first half, got the lead, were holding on to that. Ivory Coast came back into the game, incredible Ahmad goal. Then Erling Haaland does as he does. Still late moments for drama with an incredible save up the other end. But Norway get through, which seems to be the story of this World Cup. Even when we have favourites, overwhelming favourites or not, all these games so far have played out far more narrowly than anybody's been expecting.
Yeah, well said, and well played to the Ivory Coast as well. A great goal from Ahmad in that game. What makes this Norway team special for you?
I guess their beliefs on what they can achieve and with their fans, you know, but it's I think it's more the mentality of everything that makes the difference. But it was a very much even game. We could have gone either way. Ivory Coast have shown their talent. Amad Diallo could have scored on the last free kick that he had. So it's tight. It's a World Cup game, and everybody has some strengths and some weaknesses. I didn't recognize the Norway that I've seen during the qualification and the group stages before playing against France, where they were dominating their opponents. But it's because they play against Ivory Coast, and it's hard to play against Ivory Coast. They're a very good team. I remind you that Ivory Coast won against France in a friendly game just before the World Cup. So it says a lot about the quality of that national team. They have to go back home, but they can be proud of themselves. They fought until the end of the game.
Antonio Nusa, 21-year-old with Leipzig, with a special moment, a moment to savour for Norway with that great first goal.
It really was. And speaking to Jan Ango Fjørtoft before the tournament, he felt Nusa would play a big role for Norway in this. And you saw that. You saw a little bit, so in the build-up to that goal, there's a little bit of an imbalance around Norway, certainly in the flanks. You've got Nusa out on the left, and you've got Sørloth out on the right, who is not a natural winger. For this opening goal, I felt Pepe stayed off of Nusa a little too much, wasn't close enough. Once that ball kind of circulated around to Nusa, he then tries to close down, doesn't get there quickly enough, and Nusa's allowed to come inside. And you saw his quality. And that's the difference between the two flanks for Norway. Given Nusa's ability on that left-hand side, he is that natural winger. He is quick. He is very, very mobile. To Sørloth's credit, that's not his position. You've got Erling Haaland through the middle. There's only one winner in that. So he's playing the role that's needed of him as best he can. But as a result, you saw Ivory Coast get caught imbalanced, and Nusa making the most of that imbalance with an incredible finish.
You're both World Cup veterans. You've both gone on magical runs. There's something special about Norway right now with their fans. Even looking at the reaction of Erling Haaland afterwards, it's nearly an expectation. What was it about your run when you were at the World Cup, Shaka, and the fans that got behind you and everything that you maybe can't quantify, but you start to believe in?
So I say this about every single tournament. Of course, there's only ever been 8 countries, I think it is in the history of the World Cup, to have won it. Coming into any tournament, there's expectations around every single team. For some, we're just happy to be here. For others, it's about getting to a final or a semi-final. Norway playing with house money. That this is just a romantic run of theirs that started in the qualifiers where they go 100% in a group that included Italy. They get to the tournament, incredibly talented, but without the history at this tournament that many others can boast. So whatever Norway delivers just feels like a bonus. And as a result, you're now playing with a freedom. You're now playing with house money, as the phrase goes. And you're seeing that. They're not afraid to take chances. Let's compare it to Germany, for instance, or Netherlands, who 24 hours ago played within themselves because of that pressure, because of that expectation. Norway is not burdened by either of those. And as a result, you get this open, this expansive, this exciting, fun-filled football that we're enjoying.
What I feel about Norway and most teams is that you had expectations from any teams where they want to go, what they're going to achieve, and now because we reached the knockout stages, we can feel hopes instead of expectations. That everybody believes that they can get them into the miracle and get through, and every game is a question marks and everything. And as the players, the fans wonder. And they and wait for the best, and they don't know how the guys are going to do, and after get cheer up by the result. It's exceptional. That's why we love a World Cup, because everybody fights and hopes for the best, and you, of course, you have heartbroken, but you have also big joy, and it's rare moment in your life where you all together fight for the same thing.
You weren't exactly tipped to win the World Cup when you won the World Cup in 1998, were you? Was there a moment, I suppose, when you felt we can actually do this? Was there any kind of a moment that Norwegians might be feeling?
89th minute of the final.
Somewhere like that. Somewhere about when Emmanuel Petit scored the third goal against Brazil, say, okay, I think we are quite good. Yeah, but we felt on the third game against Denmark when we went to play to Lyon in Lyon, and we won that third game with the B team that I was belonging to, and we felt that the nation was behind us, and they say, okay, even with the B team, we can beat Denmark, which was the hardest team to play in the group stages, and then. After against Paraguay, it was so hard to play, and we saw it's still the same kind of team where they're very defensive. But we create the miracle with Laurent Blanc, and then we had Italy, and little by little it grew. Yeah. And the fans were absolutely behind us until the final, when it took us like 2 hours to go to the stadium because it was a traffic jam because of the fans in the freeways. So it goes insane, and it could be like that with Norway. Until they're going to play France.
That won't happen until a World Cup final.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So Brazil are now the opponent for Norway. And there's something about Erling Haaland, watching him post-game, watching the way he's performing, 5 goals in this tournament, that says they won't fear anybody, even the mighty Seleção.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a Viking, so I don't fear anybody.
Give us a row there, go on.
Yeah. Go on. But that's the thing, they respect everybody, they really respect the football, but they don't fear anybody because they know they're going to fight all together. And against Brazil, it's going to happen to them. And Brazil will have to be at 100% if they want to win that knockout game, but it's not given. For sure, it's not given for anybody. Everybody will have to fight 100% if they want to go through. And for Norway, it's going to be a hard task to beat Brazil, of course. It's going to be something exceptional if they do so. But Brazil will have to be very happy if they beat Norway.
Is this a stronger opponent than Japan for Brazil?
Of course. Oh, yeah, with all due respect to Japan. Really? But it's going to be a different game.
And look how close Japan ran them.
Yeah. And so it says a lot about how hard it is to go through every knockout stage.
You've seen that all tournament, but particularly in these knockout stages, while they're favourites and underdogs, every single game has been tight. We've had a couple of upsets, as I mentioned before, and I think that's just kind of the nature of this World Cup. That teams are prepared, if that's what it takes, to sit in, to defend, to have their moments. You've seen that with Norway. For all the praise that we've heaped on Norway during the course of this tournament, for as good a team as they have, certainly on paper, they've been able to make the most of their moments. The build-up to that second Haaland goal, the ball into Berg, he squares for Haaland to all but tap in. But there are moments of quality that this Norwegian team can produce that should worry anybody. I'm still not convinced about Norway defensively, but in the attacking third, the attacking half of the park, if you aren't switched on all game long, they certainly have more than enough to punish you.
Norway's games in the group stage averaged 5 goals a game. Do they need to change anything in terms of their mindset and approach when they play Brazil?
I say no. We've seen the Netherlands adjust in trying to deal with whatever it is they felt was the biggest threat. We've seen Uruguay adjust during the course of this tournament, and inevitably those decisions come back to haunt you. Play your natural game, and this has been Norway's natural game. And at the same time, I stand by this. Norway are not playing with the pressure that in Uruguay were doing in the group stages, that Netherlands were playing in the knockout stages.
Or Brazil.
But Brazil have continued to grow. While the pressure continues to mount on them because they are Brazil, I think they have gotten better with each game. So that's Brazil kind of slowly becoming their best, and you see that confidence growing. To your question, though, Kev, I do not think that Norway needs to adjust because they are not playing with that kind of pressure. At this point, against Brazil, there's no expectation. There's even less expectation than they had all tournament long. And that's when they have been at their best. That's when they've allowed their attacking players to play with the freedom. That's seen them progress this far.
And on top of it, when you're a strong nation of football, and Norway has proven that they are a very strong nation, and they don't have to adapt to the others. You have to adjust a little bit, but you have to show your strengths, and this maybe to the others to adapt. So you have the Joga Bonita of Brazil against the culture of fighting of Norway. Who's going to break first? We don't know. But if suddenly Brazil wants to go into that Norway football, they're going to be smashed. And the other way works for Norway. If Norway starts to play offensively, Joga Bonita, it's not going to work. It's not part of their culture. So keep what you are the best at and work on that, and maybe you're going to be able to win.
The only adjustment Norway makes is dealing with Vinicius Jr. How do we get cover around on that right-hand side to take care of Vinicius Jr.? Other than that, just do as you've been doing all tournament.
How do Brazil deal with the big fella, Erling Haaland?
Well, you have Gabriel and Marquinhos, and they know how to deal with big names. And we saw Gabriel, how he was capable of defending. And that would be a nice story because we saw them, those two, Haaland and Gabriel, fighting for other things, ball being thrown in some head. So that's going to be interesting to see.
I've seen you complain about centre-backs here in the last couple of days, Frank, that don't get touch tight to their strikers. That's not something Gabriel likes to make it as physical as possible.
Gabriel belongs to another generation.
Like
Sergio Ramos from at his time, or Saliba is the same as well. They are strong defenders who think about defending before attacking, and Gabriel is one of the strongest, best defender from his generation, for sure.
For me, from a Brazil perspective, I think you recognize where those threats for Norway are going to come from. It's Haaland through the middle. You've got your two centre-backs to deal with that. Nusa on the left-hand side. You've got to make sure that you switch on down that right-hand side defensively, that wing-back, the wingers are coming back to cover. Soloth has not run past anybody, as we discussed. So you don't have to focus as much on Soloth in that regard. You can go one-on-one with Soloth. And then Norway aren't very strong defensively. And that's where you have to ask your back four. You take care of Norway's attacking threat. You know where that's going to come from. Odegaard sitting in midfield. That's kind of the focus of their creativity. Who do you get in around him, whether it's Bruno Guimaraes or you give Casemiro a man-to-man job with Odegaard. And then you want your attackers to play with a freedom because Norway have not shown themselves to be the strongest defensively. You trust that portion of your game.
Aside from today, Norway's biggest win in their football history. Any ideas?
No idea.
The year you won the World Cup, 1998. So Brazil take the lead against Norway. Bebeto, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then Norway laid on. Did you play with Tore André Flo?
Tore André Flo played with me. I love you, Tore.
Well, Flo bags the equaliser.
I say the same for Zidane. But
and then it was Rekdal with a penalty in the 88th minute. Norway beat Brazil in 1998.
I think it was in Marseille. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that was a great game for Norway. Yeah.
But they'll be trying to watch that tape, trying to rekindle a little bit of magic here. Going up against the mighty 5-time winners Brazil. We cannot wait for that game. It's from the home of the World Cup final in New York, New Jersey. And we'll be talking about that and much, much more. Tonight, it's ESPN FC, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, live on ESPN2. Make sure you are with us. For Shaka, for Frank, and me, Kev, cheers for joining us, folks.